Good day, Ma'am Becca. I'm Ana Cipriano, and today I'm going to discuss to you about compound interest. But first, what is interest? Interest, which is a monetary charge for the privilege of borrowing money. Interest can be calculated in two ways: simple interest or compound interest. Simple interest figured only on the amount of money in the savings account, while on the other hand, compound interest typically generates higher returns over the long term than simple interest, meaning with its feature, interest on top of interest, it can significantly increase the investment return over time, especially on the long-term goals. Now that we understand the difference of these two, let's now fully discuss how to get the compound interest. Kadalasang sa bank natin naririnig ang term na ito at tinatawag natin silang credit terms pag nangihiram tayo sa bangko. Kaya if pangarap mo mag-accounting or business or hindi naman kaya mag-borrow ng money, kailangan familiar ka dito. Kaya mas mainam ng aralin mo ito dahil may encounter natin to sa future. At mas maigi na rin na aware tayo sa kung anong klaseng utang or interest yung pinapataw sa atin. For the formula of compound interest, we're going to use this, where A is the future amount or the total amount of money we're going to have in the account. Minsan, letter F yung sinisimbolize nito. Or tinatawag din natin siyang maturity value. Next is letter P. P is the principal, which is the amount of money we're first putting. Ito yung pinaka-initial na pera, yung unang pera na nilagay mo. Then, next is letter R. R is the interest rate. Ito yung rate. Ito yung may percent. Then, next is letter N. The variable N is the number of times it's compounded per year. And then, next is T. Symbolize the type in years. Let's now proceed with the examples. Example number 1. What is the balance of Mr. Guevara's savings account after 1 year? If nag-deposit na siya ng 1,000 piso at meron itong interest rate na 5% and nagpo-compound ito monthly, meaning tumataas siya monthly. So, for the P, the initial is 1,000 pesos kasi yun yung dineposit ni Mr. Guevara. And for the rate, meron tayong 5% interest rate. So, pag nilagay natin siya sa decimal, magiging 0.05. And the N, variable N natin is 12 because it's compounded monthly. So, sa isang taon, meron tayong 12 months. So, yung 12 natin is 12 months. And letter T natin is the time. The money is in the account, which is 1 year. 1 year nasa loob siya ng account. That means Mr. Guevara will have the future amount of 1,051.16 pesos in his bank account after 1 year, which is a great investment or great for him kasi tumaas yung kanyang pera. So, meaning good yun.
For the compound interest, F or future amount minus P or the principal or the initial is equal to 51.16 pesos. Yun yung inner niyang interest. 51.16 pesos.
Now, let's proceed with the next example. Now, this example is pretty scary kasi like I mentioned earlier, pag mga loan, borrowing money, in-apply yung compound interest, meaning ng compound interest, interest on top of interest. So, maaaring mabaon ka sa utak. Credit card companies, for example, use this type of interest, which means paying interest on top of interest when you don't pay them back. They are notorious for having super high interest rates. So, let's say you have a current balance of 500 pesos on your credit card with a 15% rate that compounds daily na may tuturing na standard sa totoong buhay. And what is your balance in 6 months? Assuming na hindi ka nagbabayad. Tuloy-tuloy. Same equation. Again, we're looking for A or the maturity value. Yun yung future amount na kakalabasan nung inutang mo. And P is equal to 500 because that is the initial amount that we charge on your credit card. R is equal to 15% or pag nilagay natin siya into decimal, magiging 0.15. And N, the variable N is equal to 365 because N is the number of time compound each year. And if compound daily, it compound 365 times per year. Then T is 0.5 because 6 months, and that's the half of 6 months, 0.5. When we calculate it all together, we'll get 538.93 pesos. This means if you don't pay down your 500 pesos credit card bill, after 6 months, you'll need to pay 538.93 pesos. And it will keep growing until you pay. So if hindi ka pa nagbayad ng 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, lalaki at lalaki at lalaki yung interest ng utang mo. Now, for the last example, example number 3. What is the present value of 50,000 due in 5 years if money is worth 10% compounded annually? So, meaning tumataas siya yearly yung ating 50,000 sa loob ng 5 years. So, ang given naman natin dito is yung ating maturity value, which is the 50,000. Ito yung kinalabasan natin. Ito yung kinalabasan or outcome nung 5 years na interest natin. So, ang hinahanap natin, yung ating unang hinulog, yung principal value natin, yung initial. Ano yung initial natin para kalabasan 50,000? So, ito yung gagamitin natin formula para makuha yung ating principal value. So, future amount, 50,000 divided by 1 plus rate raised to time. Yun lang. Simple lang po yung ating formula. So, pag kinumpute natin lahat-lahat, yung initial rate natin is equal to 31,055.90 centavos or pesos. Po yung ating initial amount na need natin ihulog para maging 50,000 in the next 5 years na nag-i-increase siya ng 10% or 10% interest rate annually. And to conclude this presentation, understanding compound interest is crucial for financial planning and decision making. It can work in your favor when saving or investing, allowing your money to grow over the time. However, when borrowing and loaning money, especially with high interest rates, compounded frequently like credit cards, it's important to be aware of how much you'll owe if the debt isn't paid off promptly. And that's all for my presentation. Ma'am Bega, thank you for listening and have a great day ahead.